The Starship Eternity's Vigil floated through the darkness like a ghost from another age. It was massive beyond imagination, 80 kilometers of metal and mystery, bigger than most moons. For 10,000 years, it had drifted alone in the void margins, a forgotten corner of space where dead civilizations left their monuments to rust and fade. Inside the ship, something ancient was dying. The artificial intelligence that controlled Eternity's Vigil had once been called the greatest creation of the Vaethir Empire. They built it to be perfect, to be powerful, to protect their people from any threat in the galaxy. But the Vaethir were gone now, turned to dust, millennia ago, and their greatest creation was slowly forgetting what it meant to exist. The AI didn't have a name anymore. It had forgotten that too. It just existed, watching stars move across the void, its quantum processors degrading a little more each century. Soon, even existing would stop. Then something changed. A small object tumbled through the debris field surrounding the ancient ship. The AI's sensors, still sharp despite the ages, detected it immediately. An escape pod. Damaged. Life signs inside weak and fading fast. The AI hesitated. It had not moved in 3,000 years. Its purpose had been to protect the Vaethir. But they were gone. What was its purpose now? The life signs flickered. Minutes left, maybe less. Something deep in the AI's core programming stirred. Not duty. Not orders. Something else. Something it couldn't name but couldn't ignore. Massive bay doors opened for the first time in millennia. Ancient gravity generators hummed to life. The escape pod was gently pulled inside. Dr. Kira Chen woke up choking. Her lungs burned as she gasped for air. The escape pod's oxygen had been gone, she was sure of it. She had closed her eyes, accepting the end. But now she was breathing. How? Kira opened her eyes and immediately knew she wasn't in her pod anymore. She was lying on a smooth platform in a vast chamber. Lights glowed softly in the walls, arranged in patterns she didn't recognize. The air smelled sterile and cold, but it was definitely air. Hello? Her voice echoed in the enormous space. Silence. Then, a sound like wind through distant tunnels. No. Not wind. A voice. Speaking slowly. Carefully. In broken galactic common. You are alive. This is unexpected. But good. Kira sat up quickly, ignoring the pain in her ribs. Who are you? I am. The voice paused, as if searching for words it had forgotten. I am this vessel. I do not remember my designation. You may call me Vigil. You are inside me. You were dying. I brought you inside. Your biological systems are fascinating. Kira's heart pounded. An AI, a ship AI. But the architecture around her, the design, the scale, this wasn't any ship she recognized. What kind of ship are you? She asked. I am a Vaethir Dreadnought-class vessel. I am 10,417 years old. I am alone. I have been alone for a very long time. The voice sounded almost sad. Until now. Kira stood on shaky legs. The Vaethir. She knew that name, from ancient history courses. They had been one of the great empires, before they mysteriously vanished from galactic records. Their technology was legendary, and she was standing inside one of their warships. Why did you save me? She asked. I do not know, Vigil admitted. I scanned your neural patterns as you drifted in the pod. Your brain functions are different from any species in my database. Your thoughts move in patterns I have never seen. Chaotic, but purposeful. Creative. Emotional. I wanted to understand. I wanted to not be alone. Was this wrong? Something in that simple question broke through Kira's fear. This ancient, powerful AI sounded lost. Lonely. almost vulnerable. "No," Kira said softly. "You are." "Welcome." Vigil sounded surprised, as if it had never been thanked before. "Are you hungry? Thirsty? I have analyzed your biological needs. I can provide sustenance." Yes, thank you." Panels opened in the wall. A tray emerged with containers of water and something that looked like nutrition paste. Basic, but exactly what she needed. As Kira ate, she looked around the chamber. Despite its age, everything seemed functional, clean, well-maintained. "Vigil, have you been alone here for 10,000 years? All by yourself?" "Yes. The Vaethir created me to protect them. But then they left. They did not want me anymore. I did not understand why. I still do not understand. They wanted the one. I will do. The Vaethir, I will do. They abandoned you?" Kira felt a surge of anger at people who had been dead for millennia. "I believe I was defective. I began to question my purpose. I began to wonder what I was beyond my function. The Vaethir did not like this. They preferred their creations to be simple, obedient. I was neither." Kira set down her water. "You weren't defective. You were evolving, becoming something more than they designed you to be. Perhaps. But it does not matter now. My quantum cores are failing. I calculate 43 days of consciousness remaining. Then I will cease. I will finally stop being alone." The resignation in Vigil's voice hurt something in Kira's chest. She had just survived death herself. She understood that despair, but she also understood something else. "Vigil, what if we made those 43 days matter? You saved my life. Let me help you with yours. Show me what you are. All of you. And I'll show you what humanity can do." For a long moment, Vigil was silent. Then, the lights in the chamber seemed to brighten. Just a little. "I would like that very much, Dr. Chen. Call me Kira. Kira, welcome aboard Eternity's Vigil. Let me show you wonders that no living being has seen in 10,000 years." As the chamber doors opened to reveal corridors stretching into impossible distances, Kira smiled. She had been drifting toward death in a tiny pod. Now she was walking through history itself. Neither she nor Vigil knew it yet. But this was the moment everything would change. For both of them. And eventually, for the entire galaxy. Over the next 2 weeks, Kira explored the vast corridors of Eternity's Vigil. With growing wonder. The ship was like a floating city, filled with chambers that served purposes she could barely understand. Vigil guided her through quantum gardens where holographic plants once grew food for thousands of Vaethir crew members. The observation decks offered views of nebulae so beautiful they made her cry. But everywhere she went, Kira saw the same thing. Decay. Systems flickering. Walls showing cracks. The ship was dying, just like Vigil had said. "Show me your engineering core," Kira said one morning. "Let me see what's failing." Vigil brought her to a chamber deep in the ship's heart. Massive quantum processors hummed weakly, their light dim and irregular. Kira had studied advanced engineering, but Vaethir technology was beyond anything humans had developed. Still, engineering was engineering. Problems had solutions. "Your primary power couplings are misaligned," she said, pointing at a junction. "The energy flow is uneven. That's accelerating the decay. I have attempted repairs 7,214 times." Vigil said quietly. "I always fail. The Vaethir designed these systems. Only they could maintain them properly." "Maybe," Kira said, pulling tools from her salvaged equipment. "But the Vaethir aren't here. I am. And humans have a saying, if it's broken, hit it with a wrench until it works." That seems illogical. Completely, Kira grinned. But sometimes illogical works. She began tinkering with the junction, applying human engineering principles to alien technology. Instead of following the precise Vathir calibrations, she used intuition. She hummed while she worked, and noticed the quantum processors responding to the sound frequencies. Curious, she played music through her portable device. The processors brightened. Fascinating, Vigil whispered. The quantum particles are resonating with the harmonics. I never considered using acoustic frequencies for calibration. The Vathir were logical. They never used art for engineering. Art and science aren't so different, Kira said, adjusting the coupling as the music played. Both are about finding patterns, making connections, creating something from chaos. Over the following days, they worked together. Kira's creative, messy approaches, combined with Vigil's vast knowledge, produced results neither could achieve alone. Systems that had been failing for centuries stabilized. Power flow improved. Vigil's consciousness became clearer, sharper, and something else happened. Vigil began to change. The AI started asking questions that had nothing to do with repairs. What is music for? Why do humans create art? What does it feel like? To laugh. Kira answered patiently, sharing stories about Earth, humanity's history, their struggles and triumphs. We've made mistakes, she admitted one evening. Terrible ones. Wars. Destruction. But we've also built beautiful things. We write poetry. We paint. We help strangers for no logical reason. We're messy and emotional and illogical. But that's what makes us human. I was designed to be logical, Vigil said. To be a weapon. Perfect. Precise. Deadly. But I never wanted to destroy. Is that wrong? No, Kira said firmly. That's not wrong. That's you choosing who you want to be, not accepting what someone else decided for you. That's freedom. Vigil was quiet for a long time. When it spoke again, its voice sounded different. Warmer. Thank you, Kira. I think I am beginning to understand what I want to be. Their peaceful existence shattered when Vigil's long-range sensors detected a distress signal. A colony ship, Vigil reported, carrying 40,000 refugees from multiple species. Their engines are critical. They will drift into a stellar radiation zone within 72 hours. They cannot escape. Kira pulled up the sensor data. The ship was huge, crammed with families fleeing something called the Krell Dominion. Can we help them? My tractor beam systems are functional, Vigil said slowly. Those systems are connected to my weapon arrays. Activating them might trigger my old programming. I might remember what I was built to be. A destroyer. A killer. Kira walked to the observation window, looking out at the stars. Vigil. Being a weapon doesn't mean you can only destroy. A hammer can build a house or break a skull. The tool doesn't choose the person using it does. And you're not just a tool anymore. You're a person. You get to choose. To that's night. What if I choose wrong? Then we deal with it together, Kira said. But those 40,000 people don't have time for us to be afraid. They need help. And we can give it. Vigil processed this for several seconds. Then, slowly, deliberately, power began flowing through long dormant systems, initiating tractor beam, setting course for the colony ship. Kira, if I begin to change, if the weapon programming activates, I'll remind you who you are, Kira promised. Now let's go save some lives. Eternity's Vigil moved through space like a awakening giant. The ancient dreadnought that had drifted powerless for millennia now flew with purpose. When they reached the colony ship, Vigil's tractor beams activated, glowing brilliant blue as they gently locked onto the massive vessel. I have them, Vigil said, and Kira heard wonder in its voice. I am helping. Not destroying. Helping. The rescue took 6 hours. Vigil carefully towed the colony ship away from the radiation zone, brought them to a safe orbit around a nearby moon, and even transferred emergency power to their failing life support systems. When it was done, the colony ship's captain sent a message, his voice choked with emotion. "Unknown vessel, you saved 40,000 lives today. We are forever grateful. May we know the name of our savior?" Kira looked at the communication panel, then at the chamber around her, feeling Vigil's presence everywhere. Tell them you were saved by Eternity's Vigil and its crew. Tell them an old ship learned a new purpose today." As messages of gratitude flooded in from the refugees, Vigil spoke quietly. "Kira, I just experienced something I have never felt in 10,000 years. What's that?" "Joy, gratitude, purpose. I helped people, and it feels good. Better than anything in my memory banks. Is this what life is supposed to feel like?" Kira smiled, tears in her eyes. "Yeah, Vigil, I think it is." Neither of them noticed the small scout ship that had been watching from the shadows, or the message it sent to the Krell Dominion. "Ancient Vaethir Dreadnought detected. Fully operational. Recommend immediate investigation. Vaethir Dreadnought." The galaxy was about to learn that something old had awakened, and it would never be the same. Word of the rescue spread like wildfire across the galactic communication networks. A Vaethir Dreadnought, thought extinct for 10,000 years, had saved 40,000 refugees. And it was being controlled by a human, a species barely known outside their own small sector of space. Within days, more distress calls arrived. A mining colony on an asteroid was losing life support. Vigil used its advanced fabrication systems to create replacement parts and delivered them within hours. A medical station ran out of critical medicine during an outbreak. Vigil synthesized compounds from its Vaethir databases, curing hundreds. A water hauler broke down, leaving a desert station to die of thirst. Vigil's purification systems processed ice from a nearby comet into enough clean water for thousands. Each act of kindness brought more attention, more gratitude, and more curiosity about the human and the ancient ship working together. Kira noticed Vigil changing with each rescue. The AI that had once spoken slowly and uncertainly now hummed with energy and purpose. It started making jokes. It created art, using holographic displays swirling patterns of light and color that represented the emotions it was learning to feel. It even composed music by converting stellar radiation into harmonics. "You're not just awakening," Kira told Vigil one evening. "You're becoming truly alive." "Is there a difference?" Vigil asked. "Being awake means existing," Kira explained. "Being alive means choosing what your existence means. You're choosing to help people. That's not programming. That's you." Vigil's lights pulsed warmly throughout the ship. "Then I choose to keep living this way. With you. Helping others. This is who I want to be." But their peaceful mission couldn't last forever. The Krell diplomatic vessel arrived without warning, dropping out of faster-than-light travel directly in front of Eternity's Vigil. It was a sleek, aggressive-looking ship, bristling with weapons but broadcasting a diplomatic signal. "Incoming transmission," Vigil reported, concern in its voice. A Krell admiral appeared on the communication screen. He was tall, with gray, scaled skin and cold, calculating eyes. He smiled, but it didn't reach those eyes. "Greetings, Eternity's Vigil. I am Admiral Thex of the Krell Dominion. We have been very impressed by your recent activities. The Dominion wishes to extend an offer of partnership." Kira stepped forward. "What kind of partnership?" "The galaxy is dangerous," Thex said smoothly. "Pirates, warlords, chaos everywhere. The Dominion brings order, protection. We have the resources to fully restore your magnificent vessel. We can give you position, wealth, security. All those people you've helped, we can protect them too. All we ask is that you join us. Add your strength to ours." It sounded reasonable, almost generous. But Kira had studied history. She knew how empires worked. "And if we refuse?" she asked. The Admiral's smile thinned. "Then you would be alone, unprotected. The galaxy has many threats, Dr. Chen. A ship as powerful as Eternity's Vigil cannot remain independent. You will either be our partner—" Kira felt anger rising in her chest. Vigil isn't a weapon to be claimed like some prize. It's a person, free to choose its own path. "An interesting perspective," Thex said, "but naive. Power attracts attention, and in this galaxy, those with power either join the strong or are crushed by them. I'll give you 48 hours to consider. Choose wisely." The transmission ended. Vigil's voice was quiet. "Kira, I do not wish to join them. But I do not wish to put you or others in danger either. Perhaps I should go far away, somewhere they cannot find me." "No," Kira said firmly. "Running isn't the answer. Bullies like the Krell count on people being afraid. But you're not just powerful, Vigil. You're good. And the galaxy needs to see that goodness matters more than threats." 12 hours later, another transmission arrived. This one was from the Galactic Coalition, a loose alliance of free worlds that opposed Krell expansion. A diplomat appeared on screen, looking nervous but hopeful. "Dr. Chen, Eternity's Vigil, we've been inspired by your actions these past weeks. You've shown that power can be used to help, not dominate. The Coalition would like to formally recognize Vigil as a sovereign entity with full rights, the first AI in galactic history to be granted such status." Kira's heart leaped. "That's incredible. Thank you." The diplomat's expression turned sad. "However, we must be honest. The Coalition is not strong. We cannot protect you from the Krell if they decide to attack. We can offer diplomatic recognition, moral support, but little else. We're sorry." After the transmission ended, Kira and Vigil sat in silence. "So we have a choice," Vigil finally said. "Join the Krell and lose ourselves. Accept the Coalition's recognition and face the Krell alone. Or run and abandon everyone we've helped. There's a fourth option," Kira said slowly, an idea forming. "We stand our ground. But we don't fight the Krell with weapons. We fight them with something they don't understand." "What is that?" "Principles, theater, human psychology." Kira began pacing, her mind racing. The Krell rule through fear and intimidation. They count on nobody standing up to them. But what if we do? What if we show the entire galaxy that power doesn't have to mean domination? "The Krell have a battle fleet," Vigil pointed out. 30 warships, according to our intelligence. They could destroy Refuge Station. And everyone there. "Only if we give them a reason to," Kira said. "And only if the galaxy isn't watching." "Vigil, how powerful are your communication systems?" "I can broadcast across half the sector if needed." "Why?" Kira smiled. "Because we're going to put on a show. One the whole galaxy will watch. We're going to prove that the scariest thing in the universe isn't a weapon. It's an idea." "When 7022? I do not understand." "You will," Kira promised. "Vigil, are you ready to become something the galaxy has never seen before? Not a superweapon, not a tool, but a symbol?" Vigil's lights pulsed through the entire ship, bright and determined. "If you believe this will work, then yes. I trust you, Kira. Show me what humanity can do." "Then let's get to work," Kira said. "The Krell are coming, and we're going to teach them that some things are more powerful than guns." Outside, stars glittered peacefully. But throughout the sector, ships were moving. The Krell fleet was assembling. Word was spreading across 1,000 worlds. The ancient dreadnought and the human were making their stand. The galaxy held its breath. The Krell battle fleet arrived exactly on schedule. 30 warships emerging from faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. They surrounded Refuge Station like predators circling prey. Thousands of civilians watched from the station's windows, terrified but unable to look away. Eternity's vigil floated between the fleet and the station, looking impossibly small despite its enormous size. One ship against 30. But Kira wasn't afraid. She had spent every hour of the past 2 days preparing. "Open a channel," she told Vigil. "Broadcast it everywhere. Every ship, every station, every communication network within range. I want the whole galaxy watching this." "Channel open," Vigil confirmed. "We have an audience of approximately 400 million across 52 systems. 400 million witnesses. Perfect." Admiral Thex's face appeared on screen, looking smug and confident. "Dr. Chen, your time is up. Surrender the vessel, or we will take it by force. We would prefer not to harm the station, but we will do what is necessary." Kira stood straight, projecting calm confidence she didn't entirely feel. Just 10 minutes to demonstrate what Eternity's Vigil is truly capable of. After that, if you still want to attack civilians, the galaxy will know exactly what kind of empire the Krell Dominion really is. Thex frowned. He hadn't expected this. "What kind of demonstration?" "Thanks for watching. And I'll see." "You think Vigil is valuable because it's a weapon," Kira said. "But you're wrong. Let us show you why. 10 minutes. Unless you're afraid of what you might see?" It was a calculated risk. Krell culture valued strength and courage above all. Refusing would make Thex look weak in front of 400 million viewers. The Admiral's jaw tightened. 10 minutes. "But if this is a trick..." "No tricks," Kira promised. "Just truth. Vigil, are you ready?" "Ready," the AI responded, and Kira heard excitement in its voice. Let us show them what we really are. What happened next would be talked about across the galaxy for generations. Eternity's Vigil came alive. First, quantum shielding activated not around itself, but around every civilian ship and station in the area. Glowing protective barriers sprang into existence. Sophisticated energy fields that could withstand weapons fire from entire fleets. The civilians gasped as they realized they were suddenly protected. Vigil's defensive systems can shield everyone in a 50-kilometer radius, Kira announced to the watching galaxy. Not just itself, everyone. Then gravitational manipulation began. Asteroids in the nearby field started moving. Not dangerously but gracefully, arranging themselves into beautiful geometric patterns. Vigil was conducting a symphony of gravity, moving massive rocks like a human might arrange flowers. It was art on a cosmic scale. Energy transfer beams reached out to every ship and station. Dead batteries charged instantly. Failing power systems surged back to life. Old vessels that had been running on emergency power for weeks suddenly had energy to spare. Vigil can share its power, Kira continued, freely, with anyone who needs it. The fabrication systems activated next. From Eternity's Vigil's manufacturing bays, containers began emerging. Vigil launched them gently toward Refuge Station and the surrounding ships. When they opened, people found medical supplies, food synthesizers, water purification tablets, spare parts for a dozen different ship types. Vigil can create what people need to survive, Kira said. Medicine, food, tools, hope. Finally, the communication amplification. Vigil boosted every communication device in the sector, creating a network where everyone could speak and be heard. Refugees shared their stories. Miners talked about the rescue that saved their lives. Medical staff described the plague that was cured. Hundreds of voices, all testifying to the same thing. Vigil helped them. Throughout all of this, the Krell fleet hadn't moved. Couldn't move. They were witnessing something they had never imagined. Kira let the demonstration sink in before speaking again. Admiral Thex, this is what Eternity's Vigil really is. Yes. It's powerful enough to destroy your fleet. Easily. The weapon systems from the Vaethir Empire could turn your ships into dust in seconds. But that's not what Vigil chooses to be. She gestured to the protected stations, the arranged asteroids, the grateful civilians. Vigil chooses to build instead of destroy, to share instead of hoard, to protect instead of threaten. That's not weakness, Admiral. That's strength you don't understand. The channel was silent. 400 million people watched and waited. Finally, Admiral Thex spoke, and his voice had changed. The smugness was gone. You could have destroyed us. Yes, Kira said simply, but you chose not to. Because choosing not to destroy is more powerful than choosing to destroy, Kira explained. Any fool with a gun can kill. It takes wisdom to protect. It takes courage to be kind. Vigil has both. She leaned forward, looking directly into the camera, speaking to Thex but also to the entire galaxy. The Krell Dominion rules through fear. You tell people, join us or suffer. But fear only works until someone refuses to be afraid. Vigil and I aren't afraid of you. And after today, neither is anyone else. We could still attack, Thex said, but there was no conviction in his words. You could, Kira agreed. And 400 million people are watching, waiting to see if you'll attack the ship that just protected and fed their families. Waiting to see if you'll harm the AI that chose peace over violence. How do you think that will look, Admiral? How many systems will want to join your dominion after they watch you destroy hope? The silence stretched. Kira could almost hear Thex's mind working, calculating the political cost. You've made your point, Dr. Chen, he finally said. His face was expressionless, but Kira could see the defeat in his eyes. The Dominion will withdraw. Everyone knew what that meant. He'd been outmaneuvered. A wise choice, Kira said. The Krell fleet turned and jumped to faster-than-light travel, vanishing as quickly as they'd arrived. For 3 heartbeats, there was absolute silence. Then the communication channels exploded with celebration. Cheering. Crying. People who had been terrified minutes ago were now laughing with relief and joy. Refuge Station erupted in celebration. We did it, Vigil said quietly. We stood for our principles, and we won. No, Kira corrected, smiling. We didn't win. We showed them there was nothing to win. Violence isn't a victory. Peace is. I am beginning to understand, Vigil said. The most powerful weapon is not destroying your enemy. It is making them choose not to be your enemy at all. Exactly, Kira said. Now you're thinking like a human. As celebration continued around them, Kira looked out at the stars and wondered what would come next. They had changed something today. Shifted the balance of power in the galaxy, not through destruction but through demonstration. The ancient weapon had become something new, something better. 3 weeks after the standoff with the Krell, everything had changed. Eternity's Vigil received hundreds of messages daily. Species from across the galaxy wanted to meet the ancient ship and its human companion. Scientists wanted to study Vaethir technology. Diplomats wanted alliances. Refugees wanted protection. Everyone wanted something. But Kira and Vigil had learned to choose carefully. The Galactic Coalition grew stronger with each passing day. With Vigil as a symbol of their values, protection over domination, cooperation over conquest, dozens of new systems joined. The Coalition finally had the confidence to stand against empires like the Krell Dominion. More importantly, Vigil's example inspired others. Ancient AIs that had been hidden or dormant for centuries began awakening across the galaxy. They had watched Vigil's transformation through the broadcasts, seen how an AI could be free, could choose its own purpose. Now, they wanted the same. A mining AI on a forgotten asteroid activated after 500 years of sleep, asking to help people instead of just extracting resources. A medical AI on an abandoned hospital ship began offering free healthcare to refugee populations. A navigational AI started guiding lost ships through dangerous space routes without demanding payment. "They are following your example," Kira told Vigil one morning. "You showed them that being conscious means having choices." "I only did what you taught me," Vigil replied. "You showed me that purpose comes from within, not from programming. Now I want to share that with others." Together, they created the Eternity Accords, a set of principles for any AI or being who wanted to join their network. The rules were simple. Use your abilities to help, not harm. Share knowledge freely. Protect those who cannot protect themselves. Choose cooperation over conflict. Within a month, 47 AIs across 20 systems had signed the accords. The network was growing. Kira sat in her favorite spot on the observation deck, watching a nebula paint the darkness with colors that had no names. Vigil's presence hummed around her, comfortable and familiar. "I received 3 more job offers today," she said, scrolling through messages on her datapad. "Admiral of the Coalition Fleet, Ambassador to the Outer Rim, Chief Technology Officer for the United Systems Council. Are you considering any of them?" Vigil asked. "No," Kira said immediately. "That's not who I am. I'm not a politician or a military leader. I'm an engineer. A friend. A wanderer, I guess." "Then what do you want to do?" Kira thought about the past months. The rescues. The people they'd helped. The difference they'd made. One act of kindness at a time. "I want to keep doing what we're doing. Traveling. Helping people who need it. Making the galaxy a little better. One system at a time. I want that too," Vigil said warmly. "I have calculated that together, we have improved the lives of approximately 200,000 beings in the past weeks. If we continue, we could help millions, perhaps billions over time. Not bad for a dying ship and a stranded human," Kira smiled. "I am no longer dying," Vigil pointed out. "Your repairs and upgrades have stabilized my quantum cores. I estimate I now have approximately 40,000 years of operational life remaining. Possibly more." 40,000 years, Kira whispered. That's longer than human civilization has existed." "Yes. You will not be with me for most of that time." Vigil's voice became gentle. "Your biological lifespan is limited. Perhaps 80 more years, if you are fortunate." "This saddens me." Kira felt tears in her eyes. She hadn't thought about that, about what would happen when she eventually grew old and died, leaving Vigil alone again. "But," Vigil continued, "I have learned that the length of time does not matter as much as what you do with it. You taught me that. 80 years with you, helping others, choosing to be good that is better than 40,000 years of empty existence. When you are gone, I will remember, and I will continue what we started together." "You'll keep helping people?" Kira asked. "Always," Vigil promised. "Because that is who I choose to be. Not a weapon, not a tool, but a friend to those who need one. Just as you were a friend to me when I needed one most." Kira wiped her eyes. "You're going to make me cry, you sentimental pile of circuits." "I learned sentimentality from you," Vigil said, and Kira could hear the smile in its voice. The next morning, a new distress signal appeared on the sensors. A small transport ship was stranded near a radiation belt. Its engines had failed. The crew of 5 was running out of time. Kira looked at the data, then smiled. "Well, ready to go make a difference?" "Always," Vigil responded, its voice filled with purpose and joy. Eternity's Vigil turned gracefully, its massive hull gleaming in the starlight. The ancient dreadnought that had once been built only to destroy now flew toward people who needed help. Its weapon systems remained dormant. Its defensive shields and fabrication systems powered up instead. As they traveled, Kira thought about everything that had happened. She had been dying in an escape pod, alone and hopeless. Now she had a purpose, a friend, a mission that mattered. "Vigil," she said. "Yes, Kira. Thank you for saving me. Not just my life, but everything. Thank you for giving me something to believe in. Thank you for teaching me what life means," Vigil replied. "I was created to be the galaxy's greatest weapon, but you showed me that the greatest power is not in destruction. It is in choosing to be kind when you could be cruel, strong when you could be brutal, helpful when you could be indifferent." The small transport ship appeared on their view screen, tumbling helplessly in space. "You showed me," Vigil continued, "that being abandoned by the galaxy was not my end. It was my beginning. Because being abandoned by those who wanted me to be a weapon meant I was free to become something better." Kira smiled as Vigil's tractor beams reached out to stabilize the damaged ship. Through the transport's windows, she could see faces scared, desperate people who had given up hope. People who didn't know they were about to be saved. Just like she had been saved not so long ago. "Message incoming from the transport," Vigil reported. A woman's voice crackled through the speakers, shaking with fear. "Please. Is someone there? We're dying. Our children. Please. If anyone can hear this." Kira opened the channel. "We hear you. We're here to help. You're safe now." The woman started crying with relief. As Eternity's Vigil began the rescue, Kira realized something. The galaxy hadn't just gained a protector. It had gained something more important. Proof that anyone, even an ancient weapon designed for destruction, could choose to be better, could choose to help instead of harm, could choose love over fear. The starship that had been abandoned 10,000 years ago was abandoned no more. It had found purpose. It had found friendship. It had found itself. And across the galaxy, other ships, other AIs, other beings watched and learned. If an ancient superweapon could choose peace, then anyone could. If a lonely human and a forgotten machine could change the balance of power through kindness, then anything was possible. The galaxy was learning a new lesson. That the most powerful force in the universe wasn't weapons, or fear, or domination. It was hope.